Hello everyone again. I'm going to go over a build that I just recently posted and try to explain what's going on and what could possibly happen in the future. Everyone loves to theorize and I love to do it as well. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy playing Path of Exile so much. So let me just hop in here really quick. I'm just going to go over the abilities and how what's good, what's bad, what's not good. Try to give you a general feel for how the build would actually work in real time. But first and foremost, the patch notes express that they're making curses more powerful on pinnacle bosses, which is huge because most of my builds, I would say practically all of my builds, were really, really good at mapping, doing some 60 to 80 delirium on maps. It was solid, good DPS, good damage. So the changes to the pinnacle boss is good for the build that I have now. So I'm not sure if they're going to change the talent tree or talents. There's still a lot to think about and look at, but for right now, I think it looks really cool. So I'm just gonna jump in. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a Guardian. It's a Templar Guardian. It's my favorite build that I made. So let's begin. Morbid Eye Stare, Ghastly Eye Jewel is used with this. Pretty much, this is probably another thing is that you probably want to start buying some of this stuff if you want to make some currency on standard mode, standard league, because this thing is probably gonna go for a lot of money. I mean currency. Okay, I got Veterans Awareness. For some reason, I love using this ability. It gives you really good efficiency, max hit, and all the rest. It's good for everything. It does have its drawback, but in all honesty, I think it's extremely good. So this is going to be huge. If you pick it up now, you might be able to get it cheap and make a lot of currency. And then the medium cluster jewels are definitely going to be they're gonna definitely have a Misery Everlasting, Evil Eye, or your combination of what you want. But for the most part, this build focuses on Misery Everlasting and Evil Eye. And it also takes advantage of the belt that affects minions to make them, that it uses the belt that gives the minions your flasks. So I have Spike Concoction, and I also have Fasting with the other cluster jewels. I know this cluster jewel is really expensive, not really necessary. You could definitely use a crappy voices. I believe it's 7 small passives, or you could just get a normal 8, 8 passive. It's not necessary. And with the changes, I'm hoping that it won't be necessary at all. And in this build, I really don't have a lot of stuff going towards my minions' damage. So it's possible that I might even be able to put in Redemption or Righteous Army. I don't know how Chris is going to scale, but this is a good base, I think, for a really good build. I'm predicting, Nostradamus, baby. So also, these are really expensive. The Forbidden Flesh and the Forbidden Flame. I took Unwavering Faith. Of course, there is definitely different ones that you could get. Like, where is Unwavering Faith? Yeah, it's right here. You know, it's really good. Plus, if you could, you could always get Sanctuary of Thought. If you're a rich person, but there's other options. But I chose Unwavering Faith with mine. I thought it gave more like protection to my minions, made me a little tougher. I thought it was an overall good choice, and it wasn't expensive on my currency piggy bank. So there's definitely not a lot of minion nodes for damage taken. I see that I took Grave Pact, of course, and I also have Decay Ward. Like, who knows how much damage we're going to be doing, so even these might be different too. But honestly, I think this is a good base. You want to stick with Misery Everlasting, Fasting, Spike Concoction, and Evil Eye, or your choice of your other curse that you want to use. So you could use Punishment, which would be really cool, or Frostbite, or even Temporal Chains. The options are endless. That's why I love Path of Exile. That's why I love it. But as you can see, the damage is extraordinarily good. It's not going to be this good because it's actually, I'm looking at the damage, I believe, for just normal mobs. So, yep, no bosses, no anything. Let me go to the Uber Pinnacle boss. That's not good. It's not good. So, if like they increase this by even like by 100%, like if it jumps to like 1,000,000, that's awesome for Pinnacle bosses. You should be able to beat a Pinnacle boss with that amount of DPS, which I honestly think is going to happen. But I don't know what the changes are yet. I also don't have 15 Wither stacks as well. So there's a lot of things coming into play here. Always make sure that you pay attention to these if you're looking at my builds. I always use the same two unless they make changes. Alright, so you got frenzy charges. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they got that ring where you get like the amount of power charges you have, which is really good for minion builds, because I forgot which one it was, the chieftain, or I know it's one of the gorilla monsters, that specter monsters that you can make, that gives you power charges. And what the ring does is it gives you curse limit based on how many power charges you have. So that's really cool. And not like a necromancer or a minion build, I apologize, can definitely use that to the fullest effect. But I will not be doing that. I will definitely be keeping the constant AoE auras up with Blasphemy. I believe that's the way to go. That's the way I'm going to go when it comes out. So let's look at some of these skills here. I use this all the time. Like this build was optimized pretty hardcore. I try to give it all the little bells and whistles, different quality, different like strong qualities, different variants of gems. I could go over all this stuff, but I'm pretty sure that you could definitely get the general idea of what's going on. And another thing is that you don't really need the awaken stuff. You know, this build I think is going to be strong enough even without the awaken and like the massive quality increases and everything else. So that's about it. And by the way, this is a despair punishment build. But the thing is in my tree, I have misery everlasting, and I have evil eye. I'm assuming I did this because money restraints or currency restraints. So I used like the next best thing that I could. And oh, that's not good. Let's move that. I can't see it very good. Well, this belt, I use it practically in every build that I have. I use it, and I usually get the an explicit, I believe it's called, for the elemental resists, which I think is really cool. A lot of people gave me a lot of crap saying that, you know, these builds aren't going to be able to kill pinnacle bosses. You're wasting your time. And now I think my builds might actually be able to beat pinnacle bosses. I'm really pumped. I hope some people try it and, you know, start talking to me, give me some ideas, and we can make a real good build together. Alright guys, well, I went over it pretty good, and I hope to see you in the next video. Please be safe and be careful. Have a nice night.